Hello and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of TerraFirmaPunk. Now, in the last episode, we made this nice new pickaxe and this halberd. Now, we're going to start this episode off with making some new tools, and then we are going to focus a bit more on this not quite so beautiful house behind us. Anyway, let's get straight to it. Right, so in between episodes, I made a pro pick mold and a axe mold. We had just a off clay mold left over, and I've just mixed up this, so this should be enough for 3 ingots of black bronze, which will allow us to make the pro pick, saw, and an axe. Now I'm going to cook these up and come back when we have them. Right, so I've just finished up casting up our tools. Just make them up here. So the prospector pick helps you find ores underground. It gives you a readout. Guess it won't go onto the tool rack. Axe is an axe. But with the saw, what we can do is we can go around here to where we've got our logs. We can cut our logs into lumber. Now that's useful because we can now use this lumber for all sorts of things, including making chests, which are going to be very useful, as we are really running out of storage space. I'll just put this one down here for the moment. But yeah, so we can use these for creating the chests, the ladders, the barrels, all sorts of different uses that we now have available to us. We can also use this to create actual planks. But for now, we're going to use some of the planks that we got from the other house to make our house a little bit more pretty. So we went and collected a sequoia tree, which is one of the really massive ones, which gave us an absolute bunch of wood. And I think we're going to use that for the flooring, and the oak planks that we collected for the walls. So I'm going to build that up and see what it looks like. Right, so we've laid the flooring down, which is looking great. I really love the colour of this sequoia wood, actually. And put another place for our food prep. Put a stone under our chestnut door. Started out laying out some of the oak planks, and we'll be back when that's a bit more finished. Right, so I've laid out all the walls, extended the framing, actually extended it outwards as well. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put a second level on this place. So we're going to use some more of the sequoia planks for the ceiling of this room and for the floor of the next. And we're going to see where we go from there. So I've laid down the next floor. I changed around the logs a little bit for the roofing. Now we've got an overhang of 1 block all the way around. This room's looking nice. Can range a bunch of chests around here, a bunch of shelves here and here. Good thing I'm going to keep this back wall as a tool rack section. Maybe have the metals here as well. They'll probably end up keeping those somewhere out here. This is where we've been keeping our wood storage. As you see here, we've got a overhang all the way around now, which I quite like the look of. Might put in some windows around here, as it's looking very plain. do that at some point in the future. We're actually going to use some thatch for the roof. And I just wanted to start laying out, thinking about the shape of the roof. So I'm trying to go sort of like a barn style look. See, this are the middle two blocks. So we go for a shape like that. Gives us a decent amount of headroom up here for doing some stuff up here. And then we can just diagonal it down off the edge here. Need to drink some water. Right, so yeah, laying the thatch down like that looks pretty good to me. And then we'll have a usable area up here. So I'm gonna start laying out all of this thatch and be back when I can see it all laid out. Right, so I've put in a lot of this thatch. Used up almost all of our thatch in the process. This is pretty much all the thatch that we have left now. We did have like a whole nother shelf set full, but I need to finish filling in the sequoia flooring. But this is looking pretty good. Need to figure out what we're doing on the ends here, which I will do next. Right, so this is our loft. Got all the thatch in, got the ends on. Changed the ends a little bit, as you'll be able to see better from the outside. I recessed it a little bit. Probably going to put some glass into those places. But for now, that's what our house looks like. A few places where we'll probably put some windows in. This is just an extra door I have. And yeah, so in the last night, or over the last few nights, we've been collecting more of these quarter of a hearts. So we've now got another full heart, which puts us up to 6, which is more than we started on, so we're doing very good. And a zombie also dropped this black bronze chest plate. Now, this is a fairly good chest plate that, for the moment, I'm just going to stash away in a chest, because we might want to keep it for something later. Now, as you'll see here, we've got chests full of food and vegetables that are decaying very fast, which is a bad thing. So what we're going to do is we're actually, now that we've built a nice lovely house, we've built up for this lovely area, we're now going to go under. So what we're going to do is under our house, I'm going to move these log piles out of the way. We are going to dig under our house. Ooh, didn't think about that. I'm going to have to brace this granite cobblestone. Let's do that first, actually. Right, so now that we've just got that propped up by some willow planks, we can continue to dig down underneath here. So what we're going to do with this area underneath here is we're going to dig it all out so that we can build a cellar. Now, a TerraFirmaCraft Cellar is a TFC add-on, but what it does is it lowers the ambient temperature naturally, allowing for your food to decay at a slower rate. and it also has cellar shelving, which can hold a large amount of food. But you can also, when the winter comes around, you can also use ice to cool the cellar to 1 degree Celsius, which is the maximum you can decrease the temperature to using the cellar, and that will preserve your food for a very long time, meaning that we won't have to worry so much about growing crops every year, allowing us to progress with more metalworking. Anyway, I'm going to dig a lot of this out, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, so we've got a relatively large area dug out underneath here. Now we're going to have to go build some cellar blocks. Now the way that you make cellar walls is using 2 clay, 2 straw and 4 lumber to make a single wall. Now we want to make a fairly large structure of these, and we're going to need like at least 64. Except our current clay supply is limited, to say the least. So what we need to do is go out and mine up a bunch more. We got some shovels from mob drops, so that will make easy work of that. And I just wanted to pop open this greater bag before we headed off on our adventure. Which gave us another 1/4 of a heart, which is great, and some thatch to replenish our supplies. But I'm going to go out and collect a bunch of clay and see you when we can make some cellar blocks. Right, so we're back with a entire barrel full of clay. Got some other stuff in my inventory that I'm going to clean up, and then we'll be right back. Right, so we've tidied up our inventory. We got a greater bag whilst we were out there, so we're going to pop that open, see what we get. Ooh, some cheese. That's important because you can actually see your food nutrition here using the bottom tab, and you can see that we've mostly got fruit, vegetable and protein, but we haven't got very much grain, and we have got very little dairy whatsoever. So that's going to be very good for us to use for food. Even some bread there. But for the moment, we're going to then now use this saw to make some of this lumber, and we are going to make some cellar walls. Now, can't shift click this in, but well, I know we need to make 2 doors to start off with, so we're going to do that first. To make 2 doors, oh, must have been the other way around. Yeah, so we need 2 cellar doors. We need the ice bunker, which we're going to use some willow planks for. 1 ice bunker, and we'll need a bunch of these cellar shelving for actually putting the food on. Just make 1 of those for the moment. And now we're going to make an absolute bunch of these cellar walls. Right, so I've crafted up all of these cellar walls, and we're going to head downstairs, change the entrance a little bit, and dug this out a bit more. So we're going to go straight to the back here and see how big a cellar we can make here. Now the walls have to be completely solid for this to work, so you can't just you can't have it diagonal. It has to be actually on top of a block. So I think we're not going to be able to make a huge one just because of how many cellar walls we have. But what we have to do is so we also have to have a double door. so that it's like this, and then we could have our ice bunker down here, our shelf in here. Apparently, this functions as a functional cellar, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure that's not the way it's meant to work. Apparently, you can use just one cellar door if needed. Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, we're going to make a few more of these cellar shelves. But as you can see there, the temperature in here is 6.8, whereas the ambient temperature is 13.8. So it reduces the temperature a fair amount, which is great for our food. Anyway, I'm going to move all of our food down here, and I'll see you then. Right, so I placed the last 3 blocks. Now, the point of that is actually that even though it does work with one door, the point of having 2 doors is so that you can use them as an airlock, as it were, because then it keeps the cellar cooler. Now, this has gotten down to a temperature of 1.95 degrees, and that's even without ice, so that's pretty cool in itself. We have completely filled every single one of these cellar shelves with food. It's nice to see that see all of our food in one place. So this is good food storage for the moment. We'll probably want to expand this. We can make this into a fairly big cellar. This is almost a minimum. Well, this is a really small cellar. But yeah, I think that's going to be all for this episode. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.